Hey guys, before anything else happens tonight, let the pace of everything slow down. There is no need to listen carefully. There is no detail you must remember. This story is meant to move around you, not demand your attention. We begin with waking. Not the sudden kind, the gradual kind. You are already half awake. Before you realize that sleep has loosened its hold, the room is still dark, but not completely. Darkness here is never absolute. It softens as morning approaches, even before light appears. You lie still on your bed, your body resting in a shape it has learned over many years. The mattress beneath you is uneven. Straw presses back gently against your weight. Some parts feel firmer, others softer. You do not adjust. There is no discomfort worth fixing. The blanket lies across you, heavy in some places, lighter in others. It smells faintly of smoke, old wool, and the slow passing of time. You breathe in. The air is cool, slightly damp, and carries the quiet scent of stone and ash. You breathe out. Nothing changes. The walls around you are thick and uneven, stone laid by hands long gone. They hold the cold of the night and release it slowly, without urgency. You remain where you are, for a long moment, not because you are tired, but because there is no reason to move yet. Somewhere beyond the walls, far enough to feel distant, a rooster calls. It is not sharp, it does not demand attention. It simply exists, marking a shift you already feel. Light has not arrived yet, but the darkness is thinning. A faint grey tone presses gently against the room, making shapes slightly more familiar. The outline of the hearth, the edge of the wall, the place where your tools rest. You open your eyes fully now, but you do not focus on anything. Your body feels heavy, not sore, not painful, heavy in the way that comes after many days of the same work. Your muscles remember yesterday. They always do. Slowly, you sit up. The movement is deliberate, not careful, just unhurried. The wooden frame of the bed responds with a soft sound, a quiet reminder that nothing here is new. Your feet lower to the floor. Stone meets skin, cool and solid. The cold travels upward only slightly, then stops. It is familiar, grounding. You pause there, sitting on the edge of the bed, allowing your body to fully arrive. In the hearth nearby, the fire has nearly disappeared. Only embers remain, hidden beneath a thin layer of ash. They glow faintly, like something remembered rather than alive. You stand and move toward the hearth. Your movements require no thought. They have been repeated too many times. You kneel, bringing yourself closer to the floor. Ash shifts softly as you reach forward. You move one log aside, then another. The embers respond slowly, a dull orange glow spreading gently. You breathe toward them, not forcefully, just enough. A thin flame appears, then another. The fire does not rush back to life. It never does. It takes its time, warming the space gradually. You remain kneeling for a while, watching the small flames catch and settle. The light they give off is soft, uneven, never bright. Shadows stretch and move along the stone walls, changing shape without purpose. You do not follow them. The warmth reaches your hands first, then your face. It is subtle, but noticeable. When you stand again, the room already feels different. Not warmer exactly, just less cold. You turn toward the small surface near the wall, where food rests. There is no kitchen as you might imagine, only a rough plank, smoothed by years of use. You take a piece of bread. It is dark and firm, baked days ago. You break off a piece carefully. The sound is dull and dry. You eat slowly, chewing without hurry. There is no reason to rush. Food here is not pleasure. It is continuity. You swallow, then take another bite. The fire settles behind you, crackling quietly outside. The village is beginning to wake, not loudly, just enough to be felt. Footsteps press into packed earth. A door opens, another closes. Muted voices pass by, never stopping. You finish eating and set the bread aside. You remain standing for a moment, listening. The day is beginning, but it has not asked anything of you yet, and you are not in a hurry to answer. You remain standing for a short while longer, not because you are waiting for something, but because the morning has not fully taken shape yet. The fire behind you settles into a steady burn. Its sound becomes softer, less noticeable. You reach for your tools. They are arranged where you always leave them, not carefully, just consistently. A wooden handle rests against the wall. Its surface is smooth, shaped by years of hands. The grain of the wood catches faint light from the fire. You lift it slowly. The weight feels familiar, balanced, neither heavy nor light. You set it back down again, then reach for another. There is no inspection, no checking. You already know they are ready. You move to the doorway. The door itself is thick and solid, its surface marked by scratches and dents, each one left without intention. You pull it open. Cool air moves in, replacing the warmer air of the room. The shift is noticeable, but not unpleasant. Outside, the morning has arrived fully now, though it remains quiet. Mist lies low across the ground, softening edges and shortening distance. The village appears slowly, as if emerging rather than existing. Houses stand close together, their shapes uneven, their roofs sloping at different angles. Smoke rises from a few chimneys already, thin and pale against the grey sky. You step outside. The ground beneath your feet is firm but damp. Packed earth gives slightly, then holds. You pause just beyond the doorway, not thinking, not planning, just standing. A figure moves in the distance, crossing between two buildings. Another door opens somewhere nearby. There are no greetings yet. Morning here does not begin with conversation. It begins with movement. You close the door behind you, not quietly, not loudly, just as it always closes. You adjust your grip on your tools and begin to walk. The path through the village is narrow. It curves gently, not by design, but by use. You follow it without looking down. Your feet know where to go. As you walk, details appear gradually. A fence leaning slightly inward, a cartwheel resting against a wall, a bundle of firewood stacked carefully. None of it feels new. The mist thins as you move, lifting slowly, revealing more of the space around you. You pass another villager. There is a nod, nothing more. Words are unnecessary. The sound of your footsteps blends with others moving nearby. Not in unison, just together. You leave the tight cluster of homes and move toward open ground. The village does not end suddenly, it loosens. Buildings give way to sheds, then to open land. The sky lightens slightly, though the sun remains hidden. You adjust your pace naturally. There is no hurry to reach the fields. They will wait. As you walk, you become aware of the air more clearly. It smells of damp earth, smoke, and something faintly green. Birds move somewhere nearby, but their sounds are muted. Nothing sings loudly this early. The path narrows again, as it leads between low stone boundaries. You step over a shallow rut in the ground, left by last night's rain. Water glistens briefly, then disappears beneath your step. You arrive at the edge of the fields. They stretch outward in long, uneven strips, each one familiar, each one claimed by memory rather than marker. You stop for a moment. Not to look, just to arrive. You set your tools down gently. The soil near your feet is dark and cool. It breaks easily under light pressure. You bend slightly, pressing your hand into it. The texture tells you what you need to know. The day's work will be steady. You'll straighten again. Roll your shoulders once, then begin. The first movement is always the same. Bend, press, lift. The body settles quickly into rhythm. Breathing adjusts without instruction. In, out. The sound of work is soft. Metal meeting soil. Earth shifting. Nothing sharp. Time begins to loosen its grip again. Minutes pass without being counted. Light shifts without being noticed. You continue. Bend, press, lift, again. The repetition does not bore you. It steadies you. Your thoughts quiet naturally, making room for movement. The village remains behind you now. Its sounds fading into the background. Here, there is only work, air, and the slow progress of the morning, and the day moves forward, without asking you to keep track of it. You walk again, not because you must, but because movement has already begun, and there is no reason to stop it. The path beneath your feet feels slightly different now, not changed, just noticed. Each step presses into the earth, leaving a shallow mark behind you, marks that will disappear by evening. You are aware of this, but it does not matter. The ground accepts your weight. Without resistance, your pace is steady, not fast, not slow. It is the pace your body chooses. When no one is watching, you notice the rhythm of walking more clearly now. Heel, then toe, heel, then toe. The sound is soft, almost absorbed before it can fully form. The air around you feels cooler than before, not colder, just clearer. Breathing feels easier here, away from walls and enclosed space. You inhale slowly. The scent of earth rises gently, mixed with damp grass, and something faintly metallic from the soil. You exhale. Nothing shifts. The fields are still ahead of you, but distance feels less important now. You are not moving toward them. You are already part of them. The sky above remains pale and quiet. Clouds move slowly, their shapes stretching and thinning. Light filters down evenly, without shadows sharp enough to follow. You walk, the same step again, heel to toe. Your shoulders relax further. Arms hang naturally at your sides. The tools you carry shift slightly with each step, their weight reminding you that they are there, not burdensome, just present. You adjust your grip once, then let it settle. There is no destination that needs attention. The walking itself is enough. A bird moves somewhere to your left. You do not look. Another sound follows it, perhaps wings brushing against leaves. It fades quickly. Silence fills the space again. Your thoughts attempt to rise, then dissolve before taking shape. There is nothing they need to attach to. The path curves slightly now, not enough to require thought. Your feet adjust without instruction. The ground becomes firmer for a few steps, then softer again. You notice the difference, only because it is there. The repetition continues. Step, breath, step, breath. The fields appear closer, though you are not sure when that happened. Distance shortens quietly. When you are not measuring it, you slow slightly, not intentionally. Your body responds to the space opening around you. The land feels wider here, less contained. You pause. Not stopping completely, just standing. The tools rest at your side. Your breathing deepens naturally. You look across the field now, not focusing on any one place. Your gaze settles into the distance. Without selecting a point, the soil stretches outward in uneven lines, marks from past work still visible. Some areas darker, some lighter. None of it feels urgent. You shift your weight from one foot to the other. The earth responds. You take another step forward, this time slower. You notice the sound again, soft, dull. You walk the last short distance, without marking it as last. Arrival does not announce itself. At some point, you are simply there. The tools leave your hands and rest on the ground. You straighten once, then let your arms relax again. Breathing slows further. The walking has finished, but movement remains inside you. The rhythm does not stop immediately, it lingers. Your body still sways slightly, adjusting to stillness. You stand for a long moment, not thinking, just existing in the space where walking has ended and work has not yet begun, and the morning continues, quietly opening itself around you. You begin without ceremony. There is no signal that work has started, no clear first moment. Your hands move, and the work is already happening. You adjust your stance slightly, feet set into the soil, balanced and steady. The ground beneath you is cool and dark. It yields slowly when pressed. You lean forward. The tool enters the soil with a muted sound, not sharp, not loud. Earth gives way. You lift. The motion is smooth, practiced. Your body knows exactly how far to move. Without needing to think, the soil breaks apart in uneven pieces. Some fall back immediately. Others cling for a moment before letting go. You straighten slightly, just enough to reset. Then again, bend, press, lift. The rhythm establishes itself quickly, not fast, not slow, consistent. Your breathing matches the movement. In as you prepare, out as you lift, in, out. The sound of breath blends with the sound of soil. Neither demands attention. Your shoulders remain relaxed. Arms do the work they have done before. There is no strain worth noticing. The repetition continues. Each movement nearly identical to the last, yet never exactly the same. The soil changes slightly with each press, sometimes softer, sometimes firm. You feel these differences without naming them. The sun shifts overhead, though you do not look up. Light changes gently, settling across your back. Warmth grows slowly, not enough to cause discomfort, just enough to be felt. You pause briefly, straightening fully, not because you are tired, but because the body occasionally asks to change shape. You roll your shoulders once, then you return, bend, press, lift, again. Time loosens further here. Minutes pass without identity. The sound of others working nearby drifts in and out of awareness. Metal against soil, a quiet breath, footsteps shifting, no voices. There is no need for them. You become aware of your hands more clearly now, the grip, the texture of wood. The handle is warm where you hold it. Your fingers adjust slightly, finding the same place again and again. The earth continues to respond, lift after lift. The surface changes. Lines form without intention. Patterns appear without design. You straighten again, resting the tool briefly against the ground. Your back feels the work, but not sharply, only sensation. You breathe deeply once, then resume. Bend, press, lift. The movement remains steady. Your thoughts have become thinner now. When they appear, they do not stay. They pass like distant clouds. The work continues. There is no sense of beginning anymore, no sense of end, only the continuation of this exact moment. The work does not change, but your awareness of it does. The same motion continues, yet it feels quieter now, as if the world has stepped slightly farther away. You bend again, but the movement is slower this time, not deliberately. It simply unfolds at its own pace. The tool enters the soil. You feel the resistance more clearly now, not as effort, but as texture. The earth presses back gently, then yields. You lift. The soil breaks apart differently than before. Larger pieces this time. Heavier, they fall with a soft sound. You pause for a fraction longer before resetting your stance. Your breathing has deepened, in through the nose, out through the mouth. The air feels warmer now, carrying the faint smell of turned soil. Your shoulders lower without instruction. Arms relax further. There is less tension to release, because there is less being held. You repeat the movement, bend, press, lift, again. The rhythm slows, not enough to notice sharply, but enough to soften the edges of time. Moments stretch. The sun continues its slow climb. Though you do not look, light settles across the field evenly. Your body grows warmer, but not uncomfortable. Heat gathers gradually, spreading across your back, then your shoulders. Sweat forms lightly, cooling as it meets the air. You wipe your hand once across your brow. Then the work resumes. You become aware of your heartbeat now, not fast, steady. Each press into the soil feels slightly heavier than the last, but not enough to matter. The difference is subtle. You adjust your grip again, just enough to remain comfortable. The handle fits into your palm, as it always has. The repetition deepens. Bend, press, lift. The motion becomes less about effort and more about continuity. You are not working toward completion. There is only this section of earth, and the moment you are in with it, thoughts have almost fully thinned now. When they arise, they are brief impressions rather than ideas. A memory of smoke, the glow of last night's fire. They appear, then dissolve. The sounds around you fade further. Metal, breath, movement. Your grip loosens slightly, not from weakness, but from familiarity. You straighten more often now. Each pause lasts a little longer. The day is slowing, and you are moving with it. The soil darkens where you have worked. You press once more, then again. The motion continues, steady and quiet, until movement itself feels like rest. At some point, the work slows on its own, not because you decide to stop, but because stopping feels natural. You straighten fully and allow the tool to rest. Your hands release their grip, without resistance. The field remains as it is, patient, unchanging. You step a short distance away and lower yourself to the ground. The soil beneath you is cool, even in the warmth of the day. You sit, then lean back slightly, supporting yourself with your hands. Your breathing changes immediately. It deepens, lengthens, finds more space. In, out. The movement of air feels fuller now, as if your chest has opened, without effort. Warmth rests across your shoulders and back, not heavy, just present. The sun is higher now, but its light is gentle, filtered through thin cloud. You close your eyes briefly, not to sleep, just to rest them. Darkness behind your eyelids is softer than the night. Your heartbeat becomes noticeable again, steady and calm. It does not hurry. You become aware of your body in parts. Your hands first. They feel warm, slightly rough, relaxed. Then your arms, resting comfortably at your sides. Your shoulders feel looser now, released from holding anything. Your back presses gently into itself, finding support where it needs it. Your legs stretch out in front of you, heavy at ease. Nothing aches sharply, only sensation. The air moves faintly across your skin, a light breeze, barely enough to notice. It cools the warmth just enough to remain comfortable. Sounds drift in quietly. A bird calls once, then stops. Somewhere farther away, a tool meets soil. The sound does not pull you back. Time here feels different, not paused, just wide. Minutes pass without shape. Your thoughts move slowly now. A simple image appears, then fades. Another follows, then dissolves. You do not follow them. There is no reason to. You reach for the bread you brought with you. The movement is unhurried. You break off a piece and hold it for a moment before eating. The texture feels firm, dry. You chew slowly, feeling each movement of your jaw. Food tastes as it always does, simple, filling. You swallow, then take another small bite. You drink a little water, cool against your throat. The act settles you further. You lean back again and let your eyes close. Breathing slows naturally. In, out. The space between breaths grows longer. Your body sinks slightly into the ground, not physically, but in sensation, supported, held. The field around you continues. Without needing your attention, light shifts gradually. At some point, without marking it, rest finishes its work. You open your eyes again. The world looks the same, but your body feels different, lighter, quieter. You take another breath, then begin to move again, slowly rising to your feet. The tool waits where you left it. The work will continue, but for now, this moment of stillness remains with you. As the day moves forward, you return to the field without any sense of beginning again. There is no restart, only continuation. Your body feels different now, not tired, just slower. The work resumes naturally, but the rhythm has changed. Bend, press, lift. The motion is the same, yet it carries more weight. The tool meets the soil with a slightly duller sound. Earth still yields, but it does so reluctantly now, as if the day itself is resisting movement. You breathe in. The air feels warmer, thicker than before. You breathe out slowly. Your shoulders rise a little this time, then settle again. There is no urgency to correct posture. The body adjusts when it needs to. Each movement takes a fraction longer, not noticeably, just enough to soften time further. You straighten, pause, then bend again. The sun has shifted westward now. You do not look up, but you feel the change. Light lands lower on your back, warmer, more diffuse. Shadows stretch across the field, lengthening without drama. You continue working as they move beside you. The repetition remains. Bend, press, lift, again. Sweat forms more easily now, cooling as it meets the air. Your breathing remains deep, but slower. In, out. The space between breaths widens. Thought is nearly absent now. When it appears, it does not carry images or words. It is more like sensation, passing briefly through awareness. A heaviness in the arms, warmth in the chest, then nothing. The sounds around you thin further. The occasional scrape of metal, a distant footstep. They drift past, without anchoring you. Your grip loosens slightly on the handle, not from weakness, from familiarity. The tool rests more in your hands than against them. You adjust your stance again, shifting weight to relieve pressure. The earth responds. You notice how the soil looks now, turned and darker than before. It holds the shape of your work. Without judgment, you straighten more often now, allowing your back to ease. Each pause lasts a little longer. The day is slowing, and you are moving with it. The light continues to change, becoming softer, less direct. The air cools almost imperceptibly. You work for a while longer, without counting time. Eventually, the movement begins to feel complete. Not finished, just complete enough. You press the tool into the ground one last time. Without marking it as last, you straighten fully, and allow your arms to rest at your sides. Breathing deepens again. The field remains, unchanged by your stopping. You look across it briefly, not focusing on detail. The work has settled into the land. You have settled into the day, and the afternoon, now heavy and quiet, begins to lean gently toward evening. You begin walking back, without announcing the end of work. There is no clear moment when labor stops and rest begins. The transition happens quietly. You lift your tools, feeling their weight differently now, not heavier, just more noticeable. Your arms hang lower at your sides. As you begin moving, the path back feels longer than before, not because it has changed, but because the day has settled into you. Each step presses into the earth, with less energy than earlier. Your pace slows naturally. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Breathing follows the rhythm again, but deeper now, as if the chest has more space. The air cools slightly as you walk. It brushes against your skin, easing the warmth of the afternoon. You notice this, then let it pass. The fields loosen their hold on you. As the village comes back into view, the transition is gradual. Open land becomes scattered sheds. Sheds become low walls. Walls become homes. Smoke rises more steadily now, thicker than it was in the morning. It drifts upward slowly, then dissolves into the evening air. You pass another villager on the path. There is a nod, a brief glance. No words. Voices carry faintly from somewhere nearby, but they are indistinct. They blend into the general sound of evening, never separating themselves. The village feels different now, not quieter, just slower. Movement exists, but it has softened. You pass familiar shapes again. The leaning fence, the stacked wood, the resting cart. Everything looks the same, yet carries the weight of the day. You reach your home. The door opens with the same resistance as always. Inside, the air is cooler than outside now. The fire from the morning has settled into a low glow. You set your tools down where they belong. There is no ceremony in it. They will wait until morning. You add a piece of wood to the hearth, not because the fire demands it urgently, but because warmth will be needed soon. The flame responds slowly, stretching upward, then settling again. Light fills the room gently. Shadows return to the walls. Longer now, softer. You sit for a moment, not fully resting, but not moving either. Breathing deepens again. In, out. You prepare a simple evening meal. The motions are fewer now. Slower. Bread broken. A bowl lifted. Water poured. You eat without distraction. Outside, the light fades further. The sky shifts from pale to muted grey, then deeper still. You hear doors closing nearby. Footsteps retreat indoors. The village draws inward. Inside your home, the fire becomes the center again. You sit closer now, allowing warmth to reach your legs and hands. The heat feels different in the evening, more noticeable, more welcome. You do not think about tomorrow. The day has not fully ended yet, but it is already letting go, and you are moving with it, step by step, into the quiet that waits. Night settles without resistance. There is no moment you can point to and say that day has ended. It simply becomes something else. The fire is steady now, but low. Its light does not reach far. It gathers close to the hearth, as if conserving itself. You sit nearby, close enough to feel the warmth, far enough that the rest of the room remains dim. The stone walls absorb the light. They do not reflect it sharply. They soften it. Shadows stretch along their uneven surface, moving slowly, never holding one shape for long. The fire makes small sounds, not the sharp crackle of fresh wood, but the quiet settling of embers. A soft shift, a gentle collapse inward. Each sound is smaller than the last. You do not react to them. They belong to the night, as much as breathing does. The room smells of smoke and warmth, not heavy, just present. You breathe in slowly. The air feels smoother now, warmed by the fire, carrying the faint trace of ash. You breathe out. Your body feels heavier than it did earlier, not in a tiring way, in a settled way. The day has arranged itself inside you and found a place to rest. You let your shoulders drop. There is nothing left to hold. Outside, the village has gone quiet. No footsteps, no voices. If there is movement somewhere, it is distant enough to feel like memory rather than sound. The night wraps gently around everything. You look toward the fire again, not directly. Your gaze rests near it, allowing the light to exist, without demanding focus. The flames rise slightly, then fall back. They move at their own pace, unconcerned with time. Each flame lasts only a moment, but the fire continues. You become aware of your breathing again, slow, even, in, out. The warmth reaches your legs, your hands, your chest. It does not spread quickly. It takes its time. The darkness beyond the fire feels deep, not empty, just quiet. You know the room without seeing it. The table, the wall, the place where your bed waits. Nothing has moved. Nothing needs to. The fire shifts again. A small ember glows brighter for a moment, then dims. Another responds softly. The pattern repeats. Glow, dim, glow, dim. Your thoughts follow the same pattern. They rise briefly, then fade, before becoming complete. There is no reason to follow them. You remain seated for a long while, long enough that time loses its edges. Minutes and hours feel the same. At some point, you add one last piece of wood to the fire, not because it needs it urgently, only to ensure the warmth will last a little longer. The log settles with a dull sound. The flames respond gently, stretching upward, then calming again. Light shifts slightly. Shadows change. You stand slowly. The movement is careful, but unhurried. The floor feels cooler now, as the night deepens. You move toward your bed, without looking around. There is no need to see the room clearly. You know it well enough. When you lie down, the straw shifts beneath you. The sound is soft, dry, familiar. The blanket settles over you, light but reassuring. The fire is still visible from where you lie, only partially, just enough to see its glow. Your eyes close naturally, not because you tell them to, because they no longer need to stay open. The fire continues to burn quietly. The room remains warm. The village remains asleep. Nothing is changing quickly now. Breathing slows further. Thoughts soften. The night holds everything, exactly as it should be. The fire continues to burn, but differently now. Not with visible flames rising and falling, but with a deeper, quieter presence. You are lying still, wrapped in warmth that no longer moves outward. It simply remains. The light in the room has softened further. Edges dissolve. The walls are no longer clearly separate. From the darkness between them, shadows no longer travel. They rest. The sound of the fire has changed. Earlier, it shifted and settled. Now it breathes. The walls are no longer clearly separate. From the darkness between them, shadows no longer travel. They rest. The sound of the fire has changed. Earlier, it shifted and settled. Now it breathes. The space between breaths widens naturally. The warmth still reaches you, but it feels lighter now, as if it is slowly lifting away. Your body sinks deeper into the bed. Muscles loosen without instruction. There is no need to change position. Everything feels settled. The fire glows softly. Deep orange, then red, then darker. The glow no longer reaches beyond the hearth. The ceiling above you disappears completely into darkness. The room feels larger now, not because it has expanded, but because there is nothing left to define it. Outside, the night holds steady. No wind strong enough to disturb anything. No sound close enough to matter. The village remains silent. Time has lost all direction. It does not move forward. It does not move back. It simply continues. The fire responds once more. A small ember brightens briefly, then dims. Another follows, each one weaker than the last. The blanket holds what warmth remains. It is enough. Thought no longer forms. There are no images, no words. Only sensation. A faint shift of ash. A final ember collapses inward. The glow becomes uneven, then faint, then almost nothing. The fire is no longer fire. It is memory. A last point of light holds for a long moment, longer than expected. Then, without ceremony, it fades. Not suddenly, not noticeably, just gone. The room is fully dark now, complete. The warmth lingers briefly, then settles into stillness. Breathing continues, slow even. Nothing else moves. Nothing else needs to. The hours pass, but you do not follow them. The night has finished its work. And you remain, resting, as the world stays quiet around you.